Pretty penny from the Queens. I'm sitting and tell the rest of y'all this good. I feel you with it. Shit, bitch. How could I? Knowing what I
What up, homies?
that digital song, yeah. I broke your heart. Automatic, she would curve that. That was before.
Let's see what we got here. I was trying to think of a tune to play this morning, and then I had one. I was singing it in my head, and then I started singing, and it breaks my heart, heart, heart. It sounds like it could be J. Cole, like a remix of the J. Cole song with the backup singers louder. If this is making sense to singers out there, the background music in J. Cole, It Breaks My Heart, about 2 minutes in, there's a girl singing, and it breaks my heart. I think somebody has taken the inside of the backup singer's chorus, and they've made something with that. And I'm pretty positive now. I've narrowed it down. It's the wrong beat. None of that stuff plays into it so far, except when she starts singing, right? Inside the J. Cole song. I don't know who J. Cole is. I don't throw shade. I remember one time this guy's like, and I never heard of you. That the reason I say I haven't heard of people is literally I'm trying to explain to you that I haven't heard of you, right? It'd be impossible for somebody from Winnipeg to have not heard of me, right? You sad sacks. But you're always going to find people in this world that are they're stuck underneath a bridge, like a troll. They live in the shade, right? So all they know is shade. Those people can't surround themselves with me. There's a group of people. It's around my wife's age. They were perfect at throwing shade. They do nothing better. The best thing they do in life is diss people, right? I grew up, my wife is not one of them. I grew up with, but the men in her era they're good at it. They're the best at it. It doesn't make them cool. It just means they're the best at being losers, period. So I'll explain something to you. My age is the one right after my wife's. Now, I fall into a bit of how there's a window of people that you hung around with when you were a kid. You had maybe a 1-year window up or down, or maybe a 5-year window when you were 20, or maybe that's still wrong. So 25, you had a window of you hung around with 20-year-olds, some one or two super cool people, proper, and you were 25, right? But you also hung around with 30-year-olds, right? Now, my window for adults was as high as the ceiling could be, as long as you weren't like 80 or 60. I wasn't hanging out with senior citizens, but I was hanging out with people who were on the verge of retirement when I was 18. Okay. So you can do the math there, and they were like very well off, complete, paid off their home, whatever else. This is a different time. The 90s were actually a great time. We had low interest. The 90s was, did you know that the 90s, the mid 90s, early mid 90s was the most peaceful time we've ever had? Hi, how are you? B3 YouTube, what's good, homie? We had some of the most peaceful times were in the 90s, but we also had some of the best interest rates. Now, interest rates and war, if you don't know, go hand in hand. The banks like to refer to war as this term: instability, when things are unstable, when the market is not stable. So what that means is we don't know which country is going to get flattened, leveled. Do you understand? So there's a stock market, there are corporations in those countries, there are complete businesses with 6,000, 25, 50,000 employees in this one corporate, in this one building, in this one area of of the city. There are 25,000 employees in some of these companies. That's a small number compared to what is actually going on. You can't get real numbers, but if you're in the private sector like I've been, you would know things. Okay. So you don't really get to be in the private sector until you're in the private sector, and that's the only way to put it. If you're a public person, you may live in a public library for the rest of your life. The information in there's a huge wall of science fiction. Go read it, because that's the only bit of truth you're going to pull out of a public library. But see, they have pawned it off as fiction, when in all reality, it's upside down. The world you live in is reversed. Everything you thought was fake is real. Everything you think is real is 100% absolutely fake. I have just given you two platters. Either platter, you've now learned what they are, right? There's a silver platter and there's a golden platter. There's a golden platter and there's a platinum platter. There's a diamond platter and there is a jade platter. It doesn't matter which platter you pick, from which country, from which continent, they all serve up either lies or truths in the form of fiction or reality. Okay. When you learn these things, your power level, and it's not to mean that you go up to people and you beat them up. What it means is your power level increases exponentially over and above the rest that refuse to open up their eyes and give it a second look. Really open up their ears and listen to somebody who sounds like they've got it together. When you hear most people speak, you can hear the instability in their voice pattern, how sure of themselves. Now, you can be a total fool, think that the earth is round, flat, whatever it is, and tell your version so purely, but yet you've never seen it truthfully with your own eyes. Yet you parakeet either way what you don't understand. Now, how could you decipher if things are things? One word: vector. But the majority of people that will ever live will never understand the term vector. And this is a term I've used for a very long time. I believe it's either from a write-up on Air Force pilots. That's all I can say. Or it's from Ancient Aliens. Or it's from, which I don't think it's that. I think it was the first one. Or it's from something I saw on a YouTube video, which if you Google or if you YouTube video search vector and learn about what it is, what it means, define it, and then watch videos about how to use vectors, a vector. Okay. Now, once you do this, they can no longer keep secrets from you that you swore up and down you understood. You'll very quickly see that the new episodes of Star Wars, something is going on. Something is giving you information, Easter eggs. Why you are not taking the information or the Easter eggs is because you lead simplicity, a single word. You lead a simplistic life, a very simple life. And you have to stop that. In order to be powerful, you cannot lead a simple life. Kitty, what's up? Kitty, oh! Hope you're having a great day. My neck is blown. I don't know. I was going to sing you a song too. I don't know what happened. Make sure you all hit that like, share the video with your friends. Oh, I know what happened. I didn't pick a song. So when I make a video, I always find people who they want to have you, they want to lead you astray, right? So I can give you an example of how they can't do this. All right. So back in the 1940s, you can Google this right now. Go to YouTube and search Operation High Jump. This is a real military operation that was put on by the largest military force in the world, supposedly, from their viewpoint. Now, what I would like you to also understand is that there are people who are in control of the amount of information you are allowed to have, allowed to be given. How do you know this? Because they control what they refer to as top secret files. Do you have access to those? Quickly say no. Then you know that they are 100% controlling information. So I'd like you all to take a minute, take a breath. What is my favorite song? I love "Come as You Are" by Nirvana, but I mean, let's sing it. And it's not my favorite. "Don't Sheila" is a great one. I love "Wonderwall 5440." I was able to lose my virginity to that one on repeat. It shouldn't bother anybody. Like, it's a beautiful thing. If you have a good time, and then of course there's there's moments where nobody had a good time. I have those moments, right? Mine are. I've told the moments of mine where I felt like I was in hell. So it's everybody has their own moments, and some are good, some are bad. You should cheer those moments. It's not to rub it in the face of your loved one or or to tell a silly line on YouTube. It's to cherish that moment. Yeah, I honestly don't even have. I got to be real. I think the girl is a very nice person, but that's it. That's it. If I did see her one time actually while I was with my wife, not when I was with my wife, but while I was together with my wife, she was wherever she was, and I was downtown, and I saw her. I saw the girl that took my virginity, and I was like, hey! Actually, she recognized me. I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, just on my break here outside my building. I'm like, that's hilarious. And I thought, okay, well, I'll see you later. But it was like, hey, oh, nice to see you. And I think I give her a hug or a high five. I'm that type of guy, though. I hug and high five any dude that I went to school with or something. And I'm not attracted to her. It's not it was good at the time, but it was my first, and it was never repeated. I could have. I just chose not to. Right? Nothing wrong with her. I'm just very, very. I shouldn't have probably even. She was already hooked up. So I probably shouldn't have done it. Everything happens for a reason, right? It makes you stronger, or you cry about it more, right? And these are the realities. These are the two types of people, right? So I have chosen to always fuel the fire rather than spend my life woe is me. But it doesn't mean you can't share when you are down with someone or with others to maybe lessen the blow, right? I saw this episode yesterday of, I don't remember what it's called, but it has Sam Malone. He's playing a detective or something. No, he's in an old folks home. Just go check it out. The new show with Sam Malone there. It's got an orange thumbnail background. Um, he he lost his wife, and he goes to his grandson. He goes to his daughter's house, and she has three boys, and he's playing Xbox on the couch with them, and he starts crying. Or he wins, he beats them. He's like, and they're like, and one of the kids is like, Grandpa, why are you crying? You won. You're in Grandpa, and Sam Malone goes, I'm just so happy for my little bus with my little blue bus with rockets on it. He says it. I just burst out laughing. And I start crying. But I mean, it's because I know what he's about. Like, I know why he's doing it, because he's having an epiphany. I'll give you a little spoiler alert for like 1 minute of the show that has no pertinent information to the detective mystery story. A lady passes, Florence passes. It's not pertinent. And Florence passes at the retirement home. One of, like, I think it's the second person that passes, but it hits Sam Malone hard, just because he recognizes, he thinks of his wife, plus he thinks, maybe his time is coming, because he's old enough to be in this home, but he's not. He doesn't need this home. He can walk and he can use his mind, so he doesn't need to go to a home, right? So it's when you can't walk. When you can't walk, you have to go to a home, or be super rich to have somebody come to your home, right? So that's the sad part about growing old. Okay. If you can't get off the toilet, you can't, or get in the bathtub, you should not be on your own, right? um, so moving on, because my great Ava, he did everything. Like, he could still do all his stuff, and he was into his 90s. Sure, he looked a little bent out of shape, but the dude was awesome. He drove when he drove at 90 something, and he never had an accident. He parallel parked. He had a Lincoln. But I'm not here to brag about my great Ava. He was a baller. He was a boss. Dude was a solid. He was a legend. My great Ava was a legend. But so are a lot of other people's Avas. It's in the blood, right? They say black don't crack and stuff like that. That's true. But Icelandic, yeah, Icelandic never gives up. You do not mess with Iceland. And I learned something, which I'm about to tell you now. This is going to blow your minds. This is going to blow your minds. And also, by the way, I'm sipping on a cup of pure peppermint tea from 1706, made in London. This company, Twinnings, they've been around 325 years. Come on. Selling tea bags. So go find another 325-year-old company. Now, I'd like to tell you this. Back in 1940, picture this. Listen up and picture this. Hey, Stell Grape, thank you so much. Love the content. Peace, man. That's a great, great message. Thank you. Can you play Black Ops 6? Absolutely, Black Ops 6 will be getting crushed. I crush every Black Ops campaign. I'll play through any campaign, anytime, anywhere, as long as it's Black Ops. If it's a Call of Duty, right? If it's a Modern Warfare, Cold War, I slaughtered Cold War campaign like you don't even know. What did we do? We beat Cold War campaign. We beat Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I don't know if that had a campaign. Got the Infinite Warfare. This one. And everybody was like, a couple people. I shouldn't say everybody. I think it was the same person with 2 accounts. But they're like, how come you bought Black Ops 6? Well, do I have to really? Do you want to see why? This is why I bought Black Ops 6. Because I got all of them. And I was missing Black Ops 6 because it came out and it was new. So I wanted to make sure when the power goes out, I can solar power generator, on a projector on the side of a building, right? In the evening, in an alley, right? With a tarp over the top of the roof of the alley so nobody can see, no light gets out, right? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna play Black Ops 6 old school, solar powered, like one of them Blue Yeti converters, solar. I can't remember what they're called, right? Like a power generator. I can't remember what they're called. Like a solar power generator. That's what they're called. A solar power generator, I believe. Like it stores it, it collects it, stores it, and then I just use it. And I'm gonna use it all the whole time. Plus, we got collect at night. And once the power goes out, we can still veg all evening. You think I'm playing, but I got the lowest, very high lumen, proper LED. I'm not going to say too much more. This is tech that I will have to compete with you guys. This is what I feel. I want to make sure as many people can, make it as possible. But at the same time, there's a lot of people from my area that watch the show, right? So I don't want you'll jack up the price in my area of these things. As soon as you go buy one, they jack up the price. As soon as 3 or 5 go get bought, they double the price. As soon as hundreds go get bought, they triple 6 times the price. You kidding me? I watch this stuff happen in real time, and it's disgusting. 2020 to 2024, the prices are disgusting. Nothing has changed with gas prices. Interest rates have gone up, which that really only affects the bottom, the guy that pays with credit, right? You look at rich people that paid in cash for their houses and have 7 properties and are making more money than they ever have before on rent. Come on, I guess there's some people out there that they're like, actually, I can't afford to pay rent to my billionaire landlord, right? And they're like, actually, you know what? I'm not able to pay rent or food, so I'm going to have to, pay whatever money I do have towards food and 0 to rent for the next 6-8 months. And probably going to have to slough it because he's a billionaire and tough luck, B, but they're going to learn the hard way. When you clamp down too hard on the consumer, you stop money coming in. All those properties now that you can't get into or they're damaged, right? There's people out there that have lived in places and damaged them, right? Maybe they did it because of how rich you are. Maybe they didn't like, the way you treated them, right? So they not only did they cost you 6 or 8 months rent, but they took off in the middle of the night. What's up? Cane Corso Warrior. That's a cool name, man. Corso is a dog, eh? Am I wrong? Is a cane Corso, is that a dog? Or am I making maybe I got a Corso. You're right. Yeah, man. That's it. I would love to have, I love animals. I love zebras, freaking giraffes, rhinos. It don't matter. I love little tiny chipmunks and rabbits, dude. Like I love it all, right? Dogs are just they look you in the eye. And man, I peed myself one time. I was riding my mountain bike in cottage country. I was like 20. I was riding with no hands down the road. I was just pretty stealthy, dude, pretty lit. And all of a sudden, just chilling on a Saturday morning, 8, 9, 10 a.m. My Dalmatian was on a retractable leash. Givener does his own thing. He never pulled me off the bike once, nothing. All of a sudden, I got to make sure I get the dog right. A Rottweiler. No. Yeah. It was a Rottweiler and his head was the size of a garbage can. And I went, holy fuck. And he was on the top of his cottage, like of the top of the stairs of the cottage. And it was like 8 gray stairs going down, really well kept grass and fresh paint job on this cottage. I've never seen this before. It was like, and I've driven in this area. I rode my bike in this area before, but all like for whatever reason, it was like the gods had made this look like pristine and brand new, or it was just teleported or beamed down there. I was like, the fuck is this? So I took like an extra look, and when I looked, the dog looked me right in the eye. He gave me like dagger eyes, like death stare. I was like, oh, and I was like, and I am no bitch. When I'm telling you, I am a legend in 2000. I am a fucking legend. This dog looks me in the eye. A dog. I'm like, oh, and my nuts just curled right up into my fucking tonsils. And I'm looking at him. He's looking at me, and I'm like, and I turn my fucking head back straight. And I'm like, I start driving so fucking weird. I start riding my bike like I've got cramps. Like, oh, I'm like, and I'm looking at this dog, and he's like, make one fucking just gesture towards me, bitch. And I'm like, it's going this way. And I'm fucking scared, eh? Never before have I had an encounter. Oh yeah, one other time, again with a Rottweiler. I don't know what the fuck is with Rottweilers, man. I'm the nicest guy ever. And my dog is a brute. My dog is like 6. He's 100-pound Dalmatian. He's got fucking abs in his forehead. His side muscles on the sides of his fucking like on his up by underneath his front armpits are like, their bulges are like my calves. I'm like, the fuck? My dog just went straight. But he was like 2 feet off the side of me, looking at him, his tongue out, just trotting. My dog probably would have eaten him, but I'm telling you, it would have been, I would never want that to happen. Like I would put my back against that dog, and he could get at my back so I could protect my dog. But like, thankfully it didn't happen, right? But that happened. And then I was in the city one time, and dude's like, oh yeah, don't worry, the dog's fine. And I come in, and he's like, it's like fucking Tasmanian devil. I'm like, the fuck, this dog's not fine, dude. I'm like, this dog's not fine. I'm looking at him, I'm like, dude, don't go anywhere. He's like, don't worry, the dog's fine. The dog's fine. He's got like 9 different layers of drool coming off the sides of his mouth. I'm like, this dog's not fine. I'm like, dude, he's coming near my sack. I'm terrified. Like, I'm not moving. And there's not much I can do, right? Like, the dog's neck was the size of a fucking garbage can. Why are they making dogs like this? And who started that? It's like, the fuck is that thing? Like, why have that? And I love all freaking squirrels and tigers and lions, lynxes, bobcats, jaguars. The fuck is that doing in your house, man? No worries, homie. I just wanted you all to have like a good laugh this morning. And then I'll tell you another time. So when I was a kid, I can't actually, you know why? I realized the circles are too small. I gotta skip that one. Yeah, there's certain things. So I'm gonna do a different one. This is the last dog one. And I think, oh yes, this is a good one. Almost the same area in the country. Different fucking a year or two later. This is a year or two later. I see this, it's an old white man, walking these 2 huge German shepherds. And he's got a bag of like some groceries, but it's cans. I see it, eh? And I'm about half a block behind him. And I'm walking with my dog. I'm taking my dog for a walk in the country. No bike today. It's colder out. It's not summertime. It's late fall. It's fairly cold. Strong, cold north winds here. Most people would head her back. I go for an hour and a half walk. No shit. This was I think this was again like 8 or 9 in the morning. So he had went to grab some morning Sunday groceries, and I'm just getting into my walk. I'm 30 minutes into where I go far. I go as far as I can without my dog, and I can get fresh water in a couple spots. I'm not gonna I can. I know people, and they always put for like, I just knock on their door and they come bring fresh water, or we go in if it's winter time and warm up. But I don't really do that. a lot, and I don't need to all the time. My dog can go an hour without water. It's not hot out and it's cold, I said. So so this guy grabs these cans. He's got a white bag with some cans in it, because I can see, I have wicked eyes, and he's only, like I said, half a block away. It's a seat. I can see the bag. I can see the type of shit in the bag, and I can see it's fairly heavy because the bag's being pulled down pretty good. One of the German shepherds goes to sniff, and the guy doesn't know I'm behind him. Like I'm behind him like 8 houses. One of the German shepherds goes to sniff something to the side, and he yanks on him and pulls on his neck. And I'm a big, I'll tell you off. If I see someone like hurting their dog in the public, I am not a fan of that. And I usually lose my shit right away. Right a fucking way. This guy takes his cans and he throws it down on top of the dog's fucking head. And I lose my shit. I say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And the dog yelps, and you can see the dog kind of like running in a mini circle because he's on a leash. I'm like, what the fuck? I say, I'm fucking calling the cops. I'm calling the cops on you. And he starts fucking walking faster. He tells me to fuck off. And this is an old man. I don't have a cell phone. It's like fucking 2001 or something like that. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, God damn, man, what do I do? What do I do? I'm about 35 minutes from like where I am staying at the time. So I'm like, oh man, what do I do? What do I do? So I follow him. I don't say anything else to him. And I let him go ahead. He's walking faster, and he's kind of like dragging one of the dogs. And now I'm looking at one of the dogs. It's an older German Shepherd, because it's very gray compared to the other one. And it's got a limp on its hind leg. I'm starting to notice shit. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's kicking it. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I have to do this. I call I follow this guy. This guy doesn't even know I'm still following. I'm like 2 blocks. I'm following down back lanes. I can see through the trees, like on the other side. As soon as I get his address, I hoof it home. I take my dog and we start booking it home. It's like a 45-minute walk. I do it in 20 minutes. No problem. I'm an ultra boss. I get on the phone. I call the vet. I'm like, hey, there's a guy fucking slamming fucking, and I know this girl really good. He's slamming fucking big old cans of meatball spaghetti, whatever that shit was, fork or a spoon, chunkies or whatever. He's slamming big cans of chunkies on these dogs' heads, man. I'm like, what can we do? I'm like, I got to do the right thing here, because I said, like, this is an older dude. I said, I want these dogs removed from this fucking house. I'm a boss. Don't fuck around with me. And I'm 21 at the time. 21, and I do the right thing every fucking time. So I talked to the vet. She's a really nice person. Very, very good person. And she's smoking hot, but she really likes, like, we're friends. And fucking I tell her, I'm like, you got to help me out with this one. And she's like, don't worry, I got you. So I start phoning some other people. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I call my buddy. My buddy's dad is like a super high up cop. I'm a teenager, right? Like, I hung out with this guy in elementary school. Like, I used to go to his house, right? It's not my fault that my best friend's dad is a cop, right? I have nothing to do with cops. And fucking, I tell the buddy, I'm like, you got to tell your dad and whoever, tell some other people right now about this guy. And they're like, German Shepherd, we're over there right now. They went right over there. And they dealt with it. The vet went with the cops, and they took the German Shepherds, and they found them. They put them in homes, and the guy got pressed charges against. And because it was like the way it was, I just had to give a statement. You know what I mean? I had to say that fucking I witnessed abuse, which I have no problem doing. That's how much I love animals. I'll see you guys next time. do the right thing. What does it take? It took me like 20 minutes to get enough people involved to have that happen. This dude fuck is not allowed to have pets. Check that out.